No Jalen Suggs for the first time on Thursday. The Magic have to have someone step up, and they got plenty of players who have to do it today on Locked On Magic.
You are Locked On Magic, your daily Orlando Magic podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And you are indeed Locked On Magic. Today is December 18th, 2025. My name is Philip Rossman. I'm the senior writer over at OrlandoMagicDaily.com, credentialed member of the Orlando Magic media since the 2012 season. On today's episode of Locked On Magic, Jalen Suggs officially out. No surprise there. Who has to step up in his place? What the Magic need and who the Magic need to survive without Jalen Suggs for however long he might be out. Could be one game, could be 4 games, could be a while. Who knows? We'll get to who has to step up with Suggs out of the lineup coming up here in just a moment. But first, we want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. No matter when you listen to us, whether it's first in the morning, whether it's right when we upload, we truly appreciate you making Locked On Magic part of your day every day. You make Locked On Magic even bigger part of your day by being one of our Orlando Magic dailies. That means you're an everydayer, listening 5 days a week, listening on the weekends when we do our game episodes on the weekends, making us part of your regular podcast rotation, making us your first listen of the day. We want to thank you for helping make the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcast network. It's your team every day. It is official. Jalen Suggs is out for Thursday's game against the Denver Nuggets. He with left hip contusion. No surprise there. We didn't expect him to be back. I would say he was moving better on Tuesday than he was on Saturday. We saw him moving around, walking around a little bit at the practice facility on Thursday. I would say he was moving around better on Wednesday. I would say he was moving around better Wednesday than he was Tuesday, but Jalen Suggs did not participate in practice in any capacity. It's going to be a while, and certainly I think we made this clear. The Magic need to give him the time to rest. Again, regardless of the injury, it's more important to have him in March and April and have him as close to fully healthy as possible. And again, that's really tough with Jalen Suggs because he goes all out, and there's no replacing what he does. Obviously, though, the season marches on. And with all the injuries the Magic have and everything the Magic are dealing with, I want to say unequivocally, this team is still good enough to win. This team is still good enough to beat most of the teams in this league. This is still a playoff-capable team with just Paolo Banchero and Desmond Bane as your kind of 2 of the big 4. The Magic should get Franz Wagner back probably in early January. Jalen Suggs will probably be back before then. And so I think it's important that we all take a breath. Now, Thursday's game at Denver to open this road trip, going to be very tough. The margin for error for this team, significantly smaller than it would be if everybody were healthy. The Magic can't do what they did a few weeks ago against Chicago and against San Antonio, where it felt like they were just waiting to flip the switch and play really well for 8 minutes. They can't do that. They've got to play well the entire game. And if they do that, they'll be fine. As I mentioned, 13 of the next 17 games for the Magic are against teams with records below 500. Now, one of those is the Golden State Warriors, who are like 1 or 2 games under 500. The Memphis Grizzlies, I believe, are 2 or 3 games under 500. There'll be some bouncing around, but essentially, the next 4 weeks is an opportunity to pick up a lot of wins. And I am certainly very convinced that the Magic are going to pick up a lot of wins. I have them at 12-5. I think 12-5 would be a really good stretch, especially considering the injuries. That's allowing some losses and allowing some margin for error. But obviously, that has to start with the Magic doing what they need to do. And undoubtedly, it has to start with Paolo Banchero. Lest you think I am being too critical and too hard on Paolo, which maybe I am. I'm a Paolo believer. I think he is unfairly criticized for a lot of things that aren't his fault. He's expected to do things that are, frankly, too high of a standard at times. And I'm guilty of falling into that trap myself. I think I did that on Saturday, so I will apologize for that a little bit. But with Franz Wagner out, with Jalen Suggs out, Paolo Banchero has to get himself up to speed. And yes, we can allow for a little time for him to get back into that picture and get back into the swing of things. Because a groin injury is a serious injury. Like even a strained groin, it's a core injury. And core injuries, you can't really do anything until you're healthy. So I do think there's a little bit of Paolo is playing himself into shape. And to Paolo's credit, I want to give him this credit. He's played more minutes in the 3 games he's played since he returned. He's played more minutes in each game. He's scored more points in each game. Now it's just about doing the consistency stuff. Now it's about just being a constant drumbeat. I talk about Paolo as a constant drumbeat all the time. He's just someone you can turn to get points, turn to do the right thing, to put the team in the right spot. And that's the element that we've been missing from Paolo since he returned. And look, again, credit to Paolo. I think Paolo has been trying really hard to fit in. I think that Paolo saw what the Magic did while he was out. And again, understandably, knowing that, you got Franz there, you got Des there, you got Jalen there, you got guys who are kind of in rhythm, he was sort of deferring to them. He was sort of letting them take the lead and picking his spots. I mean, you probably noticed, maybe you didn't. I've noticed this. Paolo kind of is passive in his first quarter stints. And the second quarter stints, they run more stuff for him and he gets himself going. And then eventually he plays better as the game goes on, which I do like about what we've seen from Paolo since he came back. But undoubtedly, Paolo isn't running at full capacity yet. And that's where the Magic have to get him. That's where the Magic have to get him. Now, we know what Paolo's capable of, and I would honestly say the way Paolo has played since coming back reminds me a whole lot of how he played coming back from the oblique injury last year. In the 17 games from his return in January to the All-Star break last year, Banchero averaged just 20.6 points per game, shot 40.6% from the floor, and 6.2 free throw attempts per game. Not very good. Now, we know that he bounced back. 24 games after the All-Star break, he averaged 29 points per game, shot 47.3% from the floor, and averaged 9.2 free throw attempts per game. That's the Paolo Banchero we expect. Now, since returning from his injury, Paolo's just averaging 17 points per game, shooting 40.7% from the floor, and 5.3 free throw attempts per game. Again, it feels like Paolo is playing like he did coming back from the oblique injury. And it took a month for him to figure things out. It took a month for him to kind of get himself back into shape and be comfortable to attack the way that we know he's capable of attacking. The Magic can't afford to wait on that anymore. Like again, if the Magic are going to be competitive against Denver on Thursday, if the Magic are going to succeed on this road trip, and I'll take a 2-2 road trip. Utah should be a win. Utah's a good offensive team. Magic would have to dig down defensively. Like I said, they got to get back to their basics on defense. That's going to be the biggest key for them. The Magic should go 2-2 on this road trip. Portland's kind of the toss-up game. Golden State's a toss-up game. They got to get one of those. And if they can steal Denver, even better. But the Magic need Paolo Banchero operating at full tilt. And that's what this team is missing. Is Paolo's trying to fit in. And all credit to him, I want him to keep the thought process of playing faster and making decisions quicker. And maybe some of those mistakes he's making, especially with the turnovers, they'll come with him playing more. But the Magic aren't going anywhere during this period if Paolo is passive. If Paolo is trying to fit in. There's no doing that anymore. Ride or die with Paolo Banchero. If he has a bad game, he has a bad game. Like, you just got to live with it at this point. But you got to ride or die with Paolo Banchero at this juncture. And the quicker the Magic get him back to full speed, the quicker the Magic see him be the Paolo Banchero they know he can be. Drawing in 3 players and kicking out to shooters on the perimeter. Being a hub on offense that can create passes like he was right before his injury. That's how the Magic survive this. That's how the Magic succeed. And frankly, that's how the Magic reach their goals. Again, this isn't an either-or thing. I'm not here to say, oh, the Magic are clearly better without Paolo Banchero. No, I don't believe that at all. The Magic need all of their players and all of them healthy to be the team they want to be an Eastern Conference finalist, because their starting lineup is still one of the best lineups in the league. Their top 4 guys together on the court is still one of the best 4-person groups in the entire league. But they got to get Paolo up to full speed. And when you're dealing with the injuries the Magic are dealing with, you lean on your stars. Just plain and simple, you lean on your stars. Your stars have to deliver. And right now, like, the proof isn't there with Paolo. Again, we know he can, we know he will, we know he'll get there. It's just, how fast is he going to get there? And can he get there every night? Like, I think we're due for a 30-point Paolo game coming up. I really do. I do think we are on the precipice of a big Paolo game, and it'll be a sigh of relief for everybody. But then he's got to do it again and again and again and again and again. And that's the part we haven't seen, certainly since he came back from the injury. And that's the part that was a little bit spotty and a little bit concerning about his early season run. There's no one to support now. Like, again, the power of depth is that you could survive these moments because you have players who can step up and fill in and do more and scale up. Paolo can scale up. But right now, the Magic could go as far as Paolo Banchero can take them. And so it's time for him to get fully up to speed. It's not just Paolo Banchero that's going to feel the pressure and the spotlight with Jalen Suggs out. Why this is also Anthony Black's moment. Why the Magic are ready to see AB take another big leap coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at Robinhood. Nobody knows your money goals better than you. Robinhood puts you in control of your money with tools that work as hard as you do. Locking in on every opening, beating your personal record, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. Today's episode of Locked On Magic is also brought to you by our friends over at Gusto. Let's be real. No one starts a business for the joy of calculating tax withholdings or managing payroll spreadsheets. That's where Gusto comes in, to take the stress out of payroll, benefits, and HR so you can focus your business or you can focus on running your business and supporting your team. Gusto is the all-in-one remote-friendly payroll and HR platform that makes managing your team simple, transparent, and fast. Whether you're hiring, onboarding, or paying employees, Gusto helps you do it all from one place without the hassle or hidden fees. Unlimited payroll runs for one monthly price, which means no surprise charges at the end of the month. Gusto's automated tools like offer letters, onboarding materials, and direct deposits save you hours every week. And knowing you can reach a certified HR expert anytime gives you real peace of mind. Try Gusto today at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA and get 3 months free when you run your first payroll. That's right. 3 months of free payroll at gusto.com/LockedOnNBA. One more time. That's Gusto, GUSTO.com/LockedOnNBA. We want to thank you again for making Locked On Magic part of your day every day, your first listen of the day. And thank you for making Locked On the #1 sports podcast network. Look, you already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club and get Locked On Magic with no interruptions, members-only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Go to LockedOnMagic.supercast.com. That's LockedOnMagic.supercast.com, or check the link in the show notes to learn more. Jalen Suggs being out of the starting lineup is going to change the lineup a little bit. Obviously, it does. You're losing a key starter, and you're actually already starting Anthony Black. Anthony Black's been starting in Franz Wagner's place. Tristan da Silva has been really struggling for the last few weeks, just hasn't been able to hit a shot. He is actually on the injury report, questionable with a shoulder contusion. A lot of Magic fans have been speculating that something's been up with his shoulder for a little while now. The Magic are finally acknowledging it, or finally saying like, oh, it's bad enough that we actually have to list him on the injury report that he may not play. We'll see if he ends up going on Thursday. Big opportunity perhaps for Jonathan Isaac. Big opportunity perhaps for Noah Penda. I think we are expecting that the Magic will start sprinkling Jace Richardson in a little bit more. I think Saturday in Utah is a really good opportunity to get Jace Richardson some minutes. Would not shock me if they lean Tyus Jones on Thursday, so be prepared for that. But I think Jace Richardson, very good chance that he's going to play a little bit on this road trip. Maybe we even see some Jamal Cain. I don't remember if he was on the injury report or not. He might have been. But we'll see. We'll see how the Magic respond to this. But undoubtedly, Jalen Suggs' absence, as it did early in the season when the Magic were dealing with his knee injury and bringing him back from the knee surgery, Jalen Suggs' absence puts the spotlight on Anthony Black. Now, I have said this several times, and we're going to go over the numbers again. No stat correlates to the Orlando Magic's success, winning and losing, more than Anthony Black's three-point shooting. Guess what he shot Saturday against the Knicks? 1 for 6 from 3, if I'm not mistaken. 1 for 6. You want to know why the Magic lost? It's because teams are willing to leave Anthony Black open still in big moments. And when Anthony Black hits his threes and he's playing with loads of confidence and aggression, the Magic are a really, really tough team to beat. That becomes more important than ever with Jalen Suggs on the shelf. Look, let's be clear. This is a career season for Anthony Black. He's shooting 13 points per game. That's up 3.6 points per game from last year. Shooting's been up and down at 29.8% from 3, but he's confident and willing to shoot from 3. He said it himself. He feels more confident attacking one-on-one. He's getting to the basket a little bit more, even though he's driving a little bit less. He's been an ace in transition, been one of the best transition players for this Magic team. He is willing to take mid-range jumpers and hit and shoot. And that level of aggression is all the Magic have been asking for the last 2 years. Now, the pieces are coming together. They're still in progress. He still looks like he's figuring some things out. But Black has taken a huge step. And in wins, it's abundantly clear the impact that Anthony Black can have. In the Magic's 15 wins this season, Black is averaging 14.1 points per game and shooting 37.3% from 3. The Magic have a plus 16.4 net rating with Black on the floor with a 122.2 offensive rating and a 105.8 defensive rating. Again, you expect guys to play really well. You expect the team to play really well when you win. But those are huge numbers, especially when you compare to Orlando's losses. In Orlando's 11 losses this year, Black is averaging just 11.5 points per game, shooting 20.9% from 3. It's down from 37.3. And Orlando has a minus 12.8 net rating with a 109.1 offensive rating and a 121.8 defensive rating. Again, you can tell that the Magic are going to win games by the way they play when Anthony Black is on the floor. And with Jalen Suggs out, the Magic are leaning even more on Anthony Black. Now, you might remember during the summer, I was a little bit skeptical. And I said one of my big concerns entering the season was I felt like the Magic were making a lot of bets on their bench groups and betting on some young guys who hadn't proven themselves quite yet. The Magic, like Anthony Black, Tristan Silva, they were so up and down in their first 2 seasons collectively that it was like, okay, are you really ready to hand these guys the keys? The decision on both is proven to be pretty good, even though Da Silva's been struggling lately and Black has these kind of wild swings. But now that Jalen Suggs is out, this is a big statement for Anthony Black. No one can replace Jalen Suggs' defense. But Anthony Black is one of the best defenders on this team. The Magic aren't going anywhere defensively with Anthony Black. He's going to get the call on Jamal Murray. on Thursday, if he can slow down Jamal Murray and the Magic have a shot, because so much of Denver's offense with the injuries that they're facing, it runs through Nikola Jokic, and that's obviously tricky because Jokic is really good, and he's gonna get his numbers even if you defend him well. And Jamal Murray should be an all-star this year. He should finally break that streak. He should finally get in the all-star game. Containing him is the challenge of this game. And it's going to be on Anthony Black to be disciplined and bring that energy and bring that aggression against him and score on him for the Magic to be successful in this game. It's going to be like that for however long Jalen Suggs is out. Because again, Anthony Black is the swing player. You mostly know what you're getting from Desmond Bane. You mostly know what you're getting from Paolo Banchero. When Jalen Suggs is healthy, you mostly know what you're getting from him. You mostly know what you're getting from Franz Wagner. You mostly know what you're getting from Wendell Carter. And we'll get to him. He's going to have to step up a little bit too. It's Anthony Black that you don't always know what you're getting. He could have a 10-point game on terrible shooting. Or he could have a 15, 16-point game and be a huge threat from deep and a huge threat in transition. And it completely changes the Magic if he's able to do that. The good news is no player can simulate what you're losing in Jalen Suggs defensively like Anthony Black. Anthony Black is going to be able to punish, is going to be able to hold his own on defense and help the Magic stay strong on that front line, on that guard your yard against the best perimeter players, because Anthony Black is a really special defender because of his size and his versatility. There's just no one who does what he does. That's a good thing. We're not complaining about it. But for the Magic to be this team, for the Magic to be the team they need to be, for the Magic to, again, survive this moment, to thrive in this moment. Let's not say survive, to thrive in this moment. They're going to need an aggressive and strong and consistent Anthony Black. Now more than ever, the Magic will go as Anthony Black goes. So what about the rest of the roster? Why, it's going to be on Wendell Carter to be even better. We're going to get to him and his season coming up here in just a moment. But first, today's episode of Locked On Magic is brought to you by our friends over at Rocket Money. Ever feel like your money just disappears each month? Happens fast. A few subscriptions here, an impulse buy there, and suddenly the numbers in your bank account don't match the numbers in your head. Rocket Money helps you get clarity, track every dollar, and stay in control of your finances. Because managing your money shouldn't feel like a second job. Rocket Money does the heavy lifting for you so you can save more and stress less. Rocket Money is going to find the subscriptions you forgot you were paying for and help you clean them up quickly. God knows you see them on your credit card statement, but you're always confused about them and you just kind of accept them. Rocket Money just organizes it so much better. You can see all your spending on one dashboard to make it easier to understand where your money's going. And Rocket Money will automatically build budgets based on past spending. It keeps you on track without overthinking. And that's the best thing about it, because knowledge is power. And if you're overthinking things, you're probably worrying too much and probably missing things. Take control of your finances and cancel your unwanted subscriptions with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. We are talking today about who needs to step up with Jalen Suggs out of the lineup. And again, the Magic, it's always next man up. Let's be clear. Everybody in the NBA is going to go through a rash of injuries. The Denver Nuggets are going through it right now. If you will listen to our friends at Locked On Nuggets, they obviously have a pretty good player, Nikola Jokic, anchoring them, so they're a little less concerned about things. But every team's going to go through moments like this, and the good teams survive. They stay above water. They stay afloat until they get healthy, and then they make their move when they're fully healthy. And again, I would note this is happening as the Magic are beginning a really soft spot in their schedule. a spot in their schedule where, yeah, they should expect to win a lot of these games. Again, I have the Magic. I think a successful run over the next month is winning 12 of the next 17 games. I do have the Magic 2-2 on this road trip. I think splitting this road trip, I always think splitting the West Coast road trips are very, very important. I think the Magic are very capable of splitting this road trip. And again, I was looking at the schedule earlier today, just beginning to piece together like, okay, what's coming up? The heavy road trips, there's one more big road trip after this one. There's obviously the West Coast trip in January, but the heavy road trips are pretty much done. There's a little bit of heavy road trips coming up here at the end of December. Magic don't have a lot of time at home right now. But the Magic schedule over the back half of the season, at least travel-wise, very, very manageable. I would argue the Magic have gotten through the hardest part of their schedule already. I would argue that the Magic, from the level of competition, from the travel involved, the heavy part of the schedule is done. And that's why I'm extremely optimistic about the next 4 weeks as the Magic begin to get healthy again. But I'm very optimistic about where the Magic stand in the standings and how they're going to grow. But again, this is all contingent on the team continuing to come together and the team continuing to be solid in who they are. And look, if Jalen Suggs is the head of the snake, then Wendell Carter is the backbone. I think that analogy makes sense. But Wendell Carter has been essential to a lot of things the Magic are trying to do defensively. And the good news for Orlando is that part is not changing. Now, he's going to have a tough task guarding Nikola Jokic. Carter has historically played Jokic very, very tough. Now, Jokic will still get triple doubles and still put up numbers, but Carter makes him work for a lot of things. But beyond that, Carter has been a perfect switchable big. The whole reason why you have a guy like Wendell Carter is because he is this jack of all trades. He does a little bit of everything. And what's been different this year is Carter has been an offensive revelation, averaging 11.8 points per game. He's averaging 7.6 rebounds per game, including 2.7 offensive rebounds per game. That would be a career high if that would be his most since his second year when he had 3.2 offensive rebounds per game. He's shooting 52.7% from the floor and a career best 42.9% from three. He is making just enough jumpers to keep defenses honest. Now, in the starting lineup, Carter is the fifth option. He is not getting a lot of stuff run for him. If the ball swings to him, he takes the shot, he makes the shot. And so perhaps one of the things that's going to change here over the next few weeks, and one of the things that's going to have to happen, is Carter's going to have to up his scoring average. Like, Paolo's probably got to be, one of Paolo or Bane has to get 25 a night. The other one of those two is going to have to be around 20. Anthony Black and Wendell Carter are going to have to be around 15 each. If you could get 30 points between the two of them and 45 to 50 points between the two of Paolo and Bane, that's 85 points right there. And again, lean into your defense a little bit more. You'll get a boost from Tristan Silva, from Goga Bitadze, from Jace Richardson, perhaps. Like, the Magic will find the points. They're going to find the scoring. And again, it's going to be about defense more than anything else. But they're going to need Carter to be more involved if they're going to be successful during this run. They're going to need him to be more involved on offense, which he's been very successful at this season without any plays specifically run for him. He's made good decisions, and he has been a stalwart on defense. He has been a brick wall on defense. The Magic are going to need that again. The Magic are going to need Carter to be that excellent on defense. Again, tough challenge coming up on Thursday against Nikola Jokic. But against Portland, against Utah, against Golden State in the next three, Carter's going to be able to really roam on defense, and the Magic will switch a lot, and they'll really do I think a good job settling their defense. The Nuggets, again, the Nuggets are the best offense in the league. It's Thursday's gonna be. Would not shock me if Thursday has a lot of hiccups. Just because the Magic are trying to reconfigure themselves, figure out what their roles need to be, who needs to do what. Again, Paolo's still working himself back into shape and back into rhythm. Guys needing to step up like Anthony Black and Wendell Carter. There's going to be some hiccups, and there's going to be some moments that are really frustrating. But as things settle down, as guys get more comfortable, we're going to see this team take off. And again, this team is good enough that they'll make some mistakes, but when it all clicks, it's going to be really good. That's the one thing this group has proven is that they can make things click for 5 minutes, and that's enough to get them back in the game. That's enough to make things a game, even against quality opponents. They did that Saturday against New York in the third quarter. They didn't play well except for 5 minutes, and that put them down. That put them in the lead by 2 in a game they probably should have been blown out in. But that's who this Magic team can be when everything's working together. And really, yes, these players have to step up. Yes, Paolo has to step up. Yes, AB has to step up. Yes, Wendell has to step up. All of these players have to improve. But success is going to be everyone committing and everyone focusing and everyone playing well and together. And if the Magic do that, they're going to be fine. Everyone says they're in a good place after 2 days of practice. Everyone says they are eager for the challenge. I'm confident this Magic team is going to end up okay. Are they going to win every game the way we want them to win every game? No. May they drop a few games that we're frustrated that they're going to drop? Probably. But I'm confident the Magic are going to weather this storm and hold the ship steady and stay where they want to be in the Eastern race to make their move very, very shortly. All starts Thursday in Denver. And there's a lot of players who have to answer that call for the Magic to still be the team we know they can be. That's going to do it for me today, though. I want to thank you all again for listening to today's episode of Locked On Magic. Of course, find me on Twitter at @PhilipRR_OMD and on Blue Sky at PhilipRR. You can subscribe to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Himalaya, Google Play, Spotify, Odyssey, and all the phone-based download podcasts to your podcast-enabled listening device. You can find us on YouTube as well. Just search for Locked On Magic. Again, thanks to everyone who helped us reach 5,000 subscribers. We're heading on to the next 5,000. We'll see you at 10K. For the latest on the Orlando Magic, be sure to check out OrlandoMagicDaily.com. You can find us on Twitter at OMagicDaily. And for even more Orlando Magic content, be sure to check out my Patreon page, Orlando Magic Hub, at patreon.com/Orlando Magic Hub. On today's newsletter, we're going to explore and talk about why the Magic have this perception that they're not a good rebounding team when they actually are one of the best rebounding teams in the league. We'll break down those numbers on the Orlando Magic Hub. That's going to release around noon on Thursday. Thanks, everyone, again, for subscribing. If you need a last-minute holiday gift or someone keeps asking you what you want, make it easy. Ask for the Everydayer Club. Ad-free episodes of this show, exclusive Discord server access, and more. Subscriptions can be gifted through LockedOnMagic.supercast.com. Again, that's LockedOnMagic.supercast.com. For those of you on video, we're going to send you to the first ever 24/7 national NBA YouTube channel. On audio, make sure you make your second listed NBA game night on Locked On NBA to get the full picture around the NBA. But that's going to do it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow to break down and recap the Magic's game against the Denver Nuggets. But until then, for Orlando Magic Daily and Locked On Magic, this has been Philip Rossman-Reich. We'll see you all again next time for another episode of Locked On Magic.